Nothing we're going to discuss today happened overnight. It was a process of withdrawal that spanned a decade. The outcome in Afghanistan was the cumulative effect of many decisions over many years of war. In the fall of 2020, as I previously testified publicly, my analysis, my personal analysis, was that an accelerated withdrawal would likely lead to the general collapse of the Afghan security forces and the Afghan government.
I'd like to talk a little bit now about Abbey Gate. It was a tragic event, one of many that have occurred over our 20-year engagement in Afghanistan. It remains my opinion that if there is culpability in this attack, it lies in policy decisions that created the environment of August 2021 in Kabul. I was the overall commander, and I alone bear full military responsibility for what happened at Abbey Gate.
And you urged the White House and State Department to put pen to paper to develop a plan to get Americans and our Afghan allies out of Afghanistan, correct?
Yes, I did. In fact, I was concerned by the middle of July.
And they did eventually develop a plan?
Well, go ahead on the planning.
So they had a plan. Like I said, it's a requirement to have the plan, but it's one thing to have the plan. It's a second thing to do the actual coordination on the plan.
And that was too little, too late.
It is my judgment that it was far too little, far too late.
Was that your assessment, General Milley?
It was, and I would broaden it a little bit by saying it was a pretty consistent assessment by me and other members of the uniformed military, up to and including the Secretary.
If we're going to study to find out the findings of what we should do, we should be talking about what happened during the Trump administration as well as what took place during the Biden administration, because they are connected. They're not separate. And so if we're serious about trying to figure out what took place and why it took place, we should be looking at both what took place under the Bush administration, the Obama administration, the Trump administration.
Sure. As you point out, 4 presidents. I think there's half a dozen secretaries of defense, half a dozen secretaries of state. There's half a dozen chairmen of Joint Chiefs of Staff. There's another 4 commanders in Afghanistan. So yes, there's absolutely lessons to be learned through all of this.